Hi, Dave Kanicki with Farm Equipment Magazine here with the editor's blog for June 30th. They say there are only three ways to create true wealth: agriculture, manufacturing, and mining. Otherwise, you're just trading paper. John Deere covered at least two of these a couple of weeks ago when it announced that it intends to invest $100 million in its Waterloo, Iowa foundry. That's just about as good as it gets, because any investment in creating anything of meaningful value and then making it better adds to everyone's standard of living. It's also good news because it's so unusual. Look at what's happened to these most basic of industries over the past 30 years. We either ship the work overseas or we're trying to kill it off with irrational environmental legislation. In 1980, there were more than 5,600 foundries operating in the U.S. By most estimates, today there are far less than 2,000. The last foundry that was capable of casting a steel turret for a U.S. military tank closed down nearly 20 years ago. Now the military is getting these components from who knows where overseas. Think about that for a minute. We've all heard the arguments about market forces, division of labor, and how production will always emigrate to the low-cost producer. In the case of foundries, first it was to Mexico, then to Brazil, then to Korea, and now China. Today, they're talking about Indonesia, Vietnam, and Thailand. We've already done experiments with casting molten metal in space. Maybe that's where production is heading next. Yesterday I read that there are 63,000 dairy farms in the U.S. That's about 1/3 of the number that were operating in the early 1990s, less than 20 years ago. You can decide for yourself if any or all of this is good news or bad news. But John Deere investing $100 million in its manufacturing facilities is great news, any way you slice it. Talk to you in a couple of weeks.